morning, ma'am.
Can you see that presentation? Students, can you see that presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
we can't see the presentation.
Ma'am, we can't see the presentation.
You're not seeing presentation?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, we can't see.
Now?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
We can see.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can see.
Now you can see, right?
Now we can see the presentation.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So good morning children. Today let us start with separation of substances. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here in this lesson, we will be studying about separation of materials, or we can say separation of substances. Right? So one example I'll give you. Suppose in pan I'm having here sand. So what I'll be taking? Sand. This is sand. Again in this sand I'll be mixing iron particle. So what I'm taking here? Iron particles. That is completely mixed. Okay. So here sand and iron particle, I'm going to mix it completely. So if you want to separate this iron from the sand, now what you will be doing for this? What you are going to do? Everyone switch on your cameras fast. Hurry up. Switch on your cameras. Yes. So in order to separate these iron particles, I am taking magnet. I'll take what? Magnet. So as you all know that when we take magnet near the iron particles, these iron particles will stick towards this magnet, right? So when we take magnet towards this mixture, these iron particles will be stuck towards that magnet. So in this way, we can separate components from the mixture. So this is one way. Again, we have many methods in this topic where we are going to study that one by one. Right? So now we will start with some purposes why this separation is required. Okay? Yes. So first one is, so what is the first purpose? Why it is necessary to separate the components from the mixture. So what is the first purpose? That is, one example we will take. That is rice. Okay. You have here raw rice. And in that rice, you have small stones or the waste particles which is not needed. Here you can write it as impurities. So, in order to make this rice useful and make it pure, we separate these impurities. So, this is what? First purpose. So, what is the first purpose? The first purpose is nothing but we get pure and safe. We get pure and safe substance. When we separate these impurities from rice, we get what? Pure and safe substance, which is useful for consumption. So when we use raw rice, basically we separate that all waste from the rice in order to make it pure substance, right? Next one. Next, to obtain useful component. Second one is what? To obtain useful component. Second purpose is to obtain useful component. Okay, so in order to understand this, I'll take one example. We'll take petroleum. This is what? Petroleum. So from petroleum, we can take many products which will be useful for in our daily life. So petroleum is a mixture. It is a mixture of all substance from where we can obtain many useful components. So which are those useful components? For example, from petroleum we can take petrol, kerosene, diesel. Yes, again what we get? Again what we get? White
Petroleum jet.
petrol, that is in the form of jelly. Okay. So petroleum here is what? It is a mixture. So from this petroleum mixture, we are taking useful components such as a petrol which will be used to run vehicles, kerosene, next diesel, and again one more, that is white petrol which is in the form of gel. So in order to make these useful components, we are separating from the petroleum mixture. So this is what the second purpose of separation of mixture. Are you understanding?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next one, third purpose is to obtain pure substance. To obtain pure substance. For understanding this, we will take the example of metal. Okay, here we'll take example of what? Gold. So gold is a kind of metal. Silver is also an example. And iron, copper, these are some examples for metal. Okay, so before getting this pure gold or pure silver, iron or copper, it is in what? It is in the form of complete mixture. Right? It is in impure form. We call it as a ore. We call it as a what? Ore. Ore is a mixture of gold. It is having pure gold also and impurities also. Okay, ore of what it is? Gold. Now, we want actually the pure gold, right? So, pure gold will be extracted from this ore and further we can use that for making ornaments, jewelry and etc. So what is the third purpose is to obtain pure substance. Why we separate the mixture, why we separate the components from the mixture? That is to obtain pure substance. So one example we have seen that metals. So when we take ore of gold, ore of the gold, that ore gold is having what? Purities and impurities of that gold. But we don't want that impurities. So So in order to get only the gold, we will be sending it for, or we will be separating impurities from what? Ore of the gold. So third purpose is to obtain pure substance. Understanding why we use the separation of substances or the mixture. First one is to get useful substance. Second one is to obtain pure substance. Third one, to remove impurities which is very harmful, which is not used for consumption. So these are three purposes where we can separate the mixture for these all purpose. Next one, we will go for methods of separation. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Methods of separation. So here under these methods of separation, we have three types. Which are those? Separation of solid from solid mixture. This is first method, right? What is second method? Separation of solid
Liquid.
from liquids. This is what? Second step, or we can say the second method of separation. Now what is third method? That is liquid from,
Liquid from gas. Liquid from.
yes, liquid from liquid. So in your syllabus, we are going to study methods of separation. Under that, we have again three methods. So which are those three methods? Separation of solid from solid mixture. Second one, separation of solid from liquid mixture. Third one, separation of liquid from liquid mixture. Right? So these are basically the three methods where we are going to study in this topic. So today let us begin with separation of solid from other solid mixture. Right? So this is the first method. So here, this method can be used to separate solid from solid mixture depending on its size, shape, right? So you can see the size, shape or its dimension of that particular impurity of solid which is to be separated from solid mixture. So under this again we have three methods. So which are those three methods? Do you know? Do you know the three methods? First one is hand picking. First one is what? Hand picking. Second one, threshing.
Threshing.
Next, winnowing. Winnowing. Okay. Okay, let me tell you once again that in methods of separation we have three types. Okay, first one is the mixture which is of solid. From solid we will be separating what? Again solid components. Next one is solid from liquid mixture. Third one is liquid from liquid mixture. So don't get confusion about this. We will study in detail. We have taken first method, that is separation of solid from solid mixture. How we separate the solid impurities or the waste components of the solid from the solid mixture. Again, under that what we have three methods. First one is hand picking, threshing, and winnowing. Okay, so let us study one by one what is meant by this hand picking, threshing, or winnowing. So, as the name suggests, hand picking. Here we use hands for separating impurities, wastage components from the mixture, right? So here, hand picking involves hands. Using these hands will be separating impurities, right? For example, in your home, when your mom takes grains in a plate, your mom takes grains in a plate, right? Have you ever seen that? Your mom sitting for cleaning these all grains, pulses, or any rice, wheat. Have you ever seen? Yes, you all have seen that. So what your mom will be doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Your mom will be taking a small quantity of rice. Yes, your mom will be taking rice in a plate,
Yes, ma'am.
and again in that raw rice which consists of small stones. Yes, small stones, very small black particles. We can say it is a black particles,
Black particles.
or we can say waste components. Even we can say impurities. Okay, so when your mom is cleaning that raw rice, she will be taking that black stone from the hand and throwing away. Again, she will be continuing to make that raw rice useful, which will be again used for further cooking. So, by what we are doing it? We are using our hands to pick that stones and throwing it away to make this rice useful. So this is what hand picking method. So in hand picking method, we are separating unwanted, these are called what? Unwanted materials, separating with the help of our hands. Just by picking that black stones, or we can say the impurities, unwanted particles, which is not useful, which is not useful for consumption. Right? Understanding what I'm saying? Are you all getting my point? Okay, so this is what hand picking process. So hand picking process will be coming under separation of solid from the solid mixture. Raw rice is a solid mixture. Again, that solid mixture is having what? Solid impurities. So in order to remove that solid impurities, we are using hands. Just by picking out, we are taking that black stone out from that rice and throwing it and making that rice to useful, which will be again we are using for cooking. So that is what hand picking method. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
One more thing. These black particles or the black stones which you see in rice, they are different. They are different in what? Size, shapes. Yes, they are different in size, shape, and even color also. They are different from what? Rice or any pulses or grains. So rice, all raw rice, they are same. But impurities, they are different from rice. So by seeing that size, shape and color of that impurity or unwanted thing, we can easily remove by our hand. So this is what hand picking process where you can generally see in your home. Understood, students? No doubt in hand picking process?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you able to see that presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here in this presentation you can see how that person is removing unwanted thing from that rice. Are you able to see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Yes, ma'am.
So have you ever seen like this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Shall we move to next process? Shall we move to next method?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So second one is threshing. So which is the next method? Threshing method. Okay. So what happens in threshing method? What is going on in threshing process? Before that, I'll show you one image. Here you can see. So what you see on your screen? What do you see on your screen?
Plant.
Are you able to see that plant? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Suppose we will consider this as a wheat plant. Okay, this is what? Wheat plant. So what do you see in wheat plant? This is called stalk. This is called what? Stalk. Yes? And this full set is called husk. What it is called? Husk.
Yes.
Next one, these. Again inside this husk, what are they? Grains. Food grains. These are what? Food grains. Now if I give you this full set of plant, will you eat that full plant? Will you take it as a food? Will you take it as a food full?
No, ma'am.
Then what you will do? What you will do? You will separate these food grains from this full plant, right? So here we are using threshing method to separate food grains from this wheat plant. So which plant it is? Wheat plant. Okay. So in order to separate these food grains from this wheat plant, we use threshing method. So remember first thing, this is called husk. These are called what? Food grains. And this is called what? Stalk. Right? Now we will take this stalk and just beat it on a rock or the stone. We will beat it completely. We will put our full pressure and we'll beat it. What will happen? These food grains will be separated. These food grains will fall down so that you get separated food grains, or you can see the wheat. So this is what the threshing process. So threshing process is the process where grains are separated from the harvested stalks. These are called what? Harvested what? Stalk. So after growing this plant, it will be taken out from the field. It will be taken out from the field and then it will be bundled by taking 10-20 these stalks. It will be bundled, then it will be held in a hand and just beat it on a stone. Now what will happen? These food grains will be separated from this stalk. So in this way we can take these food grains and sell it in the market. Then later we can use it for a cooking. So what method we are using? Here we are using threshing method. This is called threshing method. Right? So wheat and rice crops, they are separated from the stalks. This is done by threshing. And here threshing can be done by the beating the stalks to the rocks or the stone. And again, one more is there. We here use animals. Animals in the sense cattle, bullock. Here we use cattle. Okay. So these cattle are allowed to just take a move on that stalks. They completely what? Tramp it. That tramp stalks will be having there, that animals will be completely tramping that stalks so that these food grains will be separated. I'll show you that image how that tramping of cattle will be done. Now, are you able to see that threshing? How they are beating to this that rock or the stone? Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here also this next picture. How that cattle it is tramping on that stalks so that the food grains will be separated. And even one more method is there, that is what? Using threshing machines. I hope you all are seeing that machines, threshing machines. Is it visible on your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So that machines are used to separate the food grains from the stalks. So in threshing, which all processes are or which all different methods are used? First one is stalks are beaten. This is the first method in threshing. Second one, using kettles. So with the help of kettles, we can also separate food grains from the stalk. Here animals are very useful in farming process. Okay, so in threshing process also we are using kettles. So they take round or they take move on their stalks. They'll be completely trampling on that. They'll be moving so that the food grains will be separated from the stalks. This is what second method in again threshing. Third one is nowadays, as advanced technology is going on, so with the help of machine, we can separate food grains from the stalk as well. Right? Here, when we use machines, there is no requirement, there is no need of any labor. There is no need of any person to be separating food grains from the stalks. So, do you all getting my point? Did you all understand what is meant by threshing process?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in threshing process again which methods we are using? That is three types. Which are those? Stalks are beaten to the what? Ground or to the stones or the hard surface so that the dried grains will be separated. That is first method in threshing. Second one using kettles. Kettles will be moving on that stalk so that food grains will be separated. Third one is using machine. That full stalk will be putting in the machine and stalks will be separated and food grains will be separated. So these are what three methods again under threshing. Anybody is having doubt? No? Shall we go for next one?
No, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Next is winnowing. What is the next one?
Winnowing.
Winnowing method. So what happens in winnowing? So here also winnowing is used to separate grains from the husk. Grains are separated from the husk. I hope you all got what is meant by husk. Okay. So what farmers will do is they just hold on that something pan or flat surface, and in that husk or the food grains will be kept, and they will be standing on the top of that floor, and they will be tilted and they will be shaking like this. Okay, they'll be shaking that the this thing whatever they are holding, so that the husk will be flowing away from this farmer and the food grains will be falling down, because the husk is in lightweight and food grains are heavier in weight. They will be blowing with the air husk which is not needed, and the food grains which we actually want, that will fall down and it will form a heap. So in this way we can separate what food grains from the husk. Okay. So for winnowing process, the important thing is required, that is wind. So what is required for winnowing process? Wind. Okay. When they will be doing like this, wind will be blowing, the air will be blowing. So along with that air, the impurities or the husk or the lighter particles which are not required, they blow off. And the food grains which are in heavy weight, they fall down and they form a heap near that farmer. So this is what the winnowing process. So I'll show you that image, how that winnowing will be done. Are you able to see that screen? How that lady is doing that winnowing process?
Yes, ma'am.
So in this way, she is doing where the husk or the impurities or the lighter particles are blowing along with the air, and the grain which we actually want, it will fall down vertically. It forms heat. Understood?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So what do you observe by this activity or by this method? You observe that the light particle, or we can say the lighter particle, leaves, dried leaves or the husk, they blow off along with the air, and the purity, that is food grains, will be collected with the help of which method? With the help of winnowing method. Did you all understand today's lesson? So yes, what things we studied in today's lesson? First, we have seen three methods. That is separation of solid from solid mixture. Again, under we have seen which method? Hand picking, threshing, and third one, winnowing. Okay, these all methods will be coming under separation of solid from the solid mixture. And again, these all processes going in village places. The farmers are doing this all winnowing, threshing, and hand picking is done by everyone. At everyone's home, this hand picking process will be done in order to remove impurities, right? But threshing and winnowing is naturally it is done in village. It is done by the farmers, where they can separate food grains from the husk. Understood? Okay, we'll wind up the class. Thank you. Bye bye.